So, for instance, this is the C major, the A minor, D minor, and G7. First of all, let me say that when I think of chords and chord patterns, I think of everything very basic and very simple. For instance, the C and the A minor to me are simply C major. The A minor is at the sixth, but it's not really important. It's kind of like the C major in a sense. It's the same sound. You can hear it. And the D minor and G7, the 2 and the 5, I simply think in terms of the 7, G7. And the D minor just happens to be a little movement that goes with it. But I don't like to complicate my thinking up with too many theoretical changes or too many changes that are not. I think very basically. Basically, I think in terms of chords, major, minor, and dominant. Simple. Under the dominant family, I would include the augmented. I would include the diminish, and I would include any altered dominant 7th chord, which would be a raised 9, a flat 9, a raised 5, a flat 5. But those chords all become, for me, dominant 7th chords. So, but we'll get on to that's another whole different concept or bag. So on the 1, 6, 2, 5, you can play 1, 6, 2, and a 5 chord. Now, if you notice, my 1 chord was a C major 7th, my 6 chord was an A minor 9th, my 2 chord is a D minor 11, and my whatever this chord is, what is this, a 5? My 5 chord is a G 13, which means that you can always alter your changes by adding tones to them. You don't have to necessarily play. And the sooner you start to add tonal, add other tones to your chords. For instance, on the 1 chord, if you could add a 9th, you can add a 6th, you can add a 6-9, you can add a major 9th, you can add a major 7th. When you add these color tones to your chords, they help to make your playing sound a little more sophisticated, a little more, little hipper, if you want to use the term. So now that's one thing you can do. So you can go. You could add. Now what you can also do is I substitute many times for a minor 7th chord, I substitute a dominant 7th chord. So in this case for C major would be C major. For the A minor I would substitute an A 7th. Now in this case it happens to be an A 7th with a raised 5th and a 13th. But so I'm substituting for the minor, A minor, I'm substituting A7. And all the variations of A7, that would mean A 13th, A augmented, flat 9, A 13 flat 9, A 13 raised 9, A 13 flat 5 raised 9. All the combinations of the dominant 7th that you can think of, and which would be 9ths, 13ths, would be raised 9ths, flat 9s, raised 5s, and flat 5s. Those are all the tonalities you can put in the chord. There are no other ones that I can think of. So in this case, I'm having C major 7th, A 13th. Now, I also, like I said, I substitute a dominant 7th for a minor 7th. In this case, the chord was D minor. I make it a 9th or a D7. This is the substitution for D minor. It's a D13. And for the G7th, I substitute nothing. It's still a G7th, except I have, thought I fooled you that time. I thought I have G7 raised 5, raised 9. Now another thing I could tell you about, you can always move chords chromatically. And I'm going to show you another substitution now. In other words, for the key of C, the C major, which is our first chord, the 1, I can make it an E minor, because if you notice the sound is the same. So very close to the same. E minor and C major are related. If I put a C root on, you have the... So now I can, once I said that I can substitute for a minor chord, a dominant chord. So in this case, the C major becomes E minor becomes E7th raised 9. And we have this. So listen. So I'm substituting now E7th raised 9 for C major, coming from E minor, which is a substitution for C major. Well, it sounds like a lot of substitutions, but it's really very simple.